Good day, everybody. This is John Hester here, and I am here at Hester's Motorsports in Raton, New Mexico. The number here is 575-445-3558, and you are looking at, this is my prototypes for the cf-moto zforce Gen 2 trail. So these are the trail shocks. I have prototypes for the sport as well. I'm going to do a video on those, but this is for the trails right now. This is the first set that I grabbed, and we did make some changes from our original prediction. We did some posts and stuff and gave some ideas what we were looking at. Unfortunately, the trail Elka couldn't quite make what I originally wanted in the size that I wanted. I was going to try to stick with a 1.5 inch shock body. That's what the stock size is a 1.5 inch shock body. The main thing is I was trying to go for a more budget friendly shock, trying to make the costs cheaper. But ultimately, I'm all about performance above, the price that you get is well worth it. So basically what I said is, okay, let's just scrap the 1.5 size, mainly because of the amount of travel these things have, just everything. We couldn't really make the 1.5s work. So the better news is these are 2.0s, so a much bigger round shock. With the bigger shock comes a lot bigger valving. We have a lot more precision in the valving stacks on these than we can do on the 1.5 bodies. We're very limited on the 1.5 bodies. So you have a much bigger body, a much bigger, thicker shaft. Just everything, it just leaps to the next level of quality. So instead of making a Chevy, I made a Mercedes. Okay, so it's going to cost a little bit more than what I had anticipated for the trail models, but the outcome is going to be far, far greater. So as you can see, we have some massive 8-inch reservoirs on these things. The reservoir is almost as big as the body, and I wanted to just make this is on stage 3s, 4s, and 5s will have the reservoir. We got some. Now, these aren't final set. Like I said, these are prototypes, so I need to get them onto a machine. I need to do some testing. I will do some tweaking to the internal valving configuration. I'll get the spring rate set right. I'll get the preload set right to where I do a very, very extensive amount of testing on all of our suspensions. So I get it as perfect as I possibly can right out of the box, meaning like you open up those set of boxes, you bolt these up, the ride height's going to be done, everything's going to be done. I tried to do all that from the get-go. Now, I always set for performance. I'm not going to make your trail jack up 4 inches. It's going to ride like crap. You do that, crank down your preload here to get it to, the more shaft is showing when it's sitting there, the less down travel you have, the less performance you have. So you have to find your happy medium on your ride height and everything like that. But the capabilities of our shocks is going to be some more travel. With more travel comes a little bit more leeway for more ride height. So, but I will always set it like a trophy truck first and a monster truck last. Okay, these are performance machines, and we want them to ride excellent, absolutely amazing. So this is a set of stage 4s. I do a lot of testing on the stage 4s because the low speed compression, I will play with all of this and the rebound, and I do all this for prototyping, and that's how I get my baseline. So I get all of this stuff, and then I say, okay, this is what my baseline is, and then all 5 stages will have the same setup right from the baseline. So out of the box, a stage 1 and a stage 5 are going to ride identical. Where the higher stage is going to come into play is you have 26 clicks of, compression, low speed compression on 3s and 4s, and high speed and low speed compression on stage 5s. And you watch our video, the Elka 5-stage breakdown, that goes into detail and shows all 5 stages. So if you don't know what stage that you want, watch that video, and I'll put it in the description below. The Elka 5-stage breakdown shows all 5 stages, so that way you can select the shock that you want based off of the amount of tunability that you want on the shock. But just giving you a brief idea on how I do all the setups and stuff. I don't just say, here's the vehicle, here's the weights, build me a shock. I mean, I calculate all the geometry, everything, the full potential that the machine can handle. Now on the trail, there is going to be one thing that you're going to have to do to fit our shocks on here. And of course, it's something I would advise anyway on that chassis. That chassis has 2 sway bars, has a front and a rear sway bar. It does not need to have 2 sway bars on that width of a machine. No. So anyways, in order to fit our shocks, because it is a much bigger shock, you're going to have to remove the front sway bar, which that's something I would tell you to do anyways. Now the rear sway bar, this is completely up to you. So that is up to you. If you're off-road, honestly, you know, off-road and you're slow trail riding and you need all the articulation that you can to keep the chassis flat and let the machine just walk up something like a spider, you're going to disconnect the rear sway bar as well. But you're going to have a little bit more high-speed sway on flat, like asphalt roads. So if you drive a lot of roads, this is a decision that you have to make. Right there, looking at the screen. You have to decide. Try it both ways. See what's best for you. I have a lot of customers who run no sway bars on their zforces. Absolutely love it. I mean, the difference in the suspension, I mean, God, you're going from the stock suspension, build quality, ride quality, and everything is like a Yugo. This right here is a McLaren F1. I mean, come on. There's no other way I can put the gap of ride quality and performance that you're going to get with a set of our shocks, even stage 1s. And we have it all set up to where the reservoirs and everything clears really good. Everything is going to be easy to access. So on the front, the reservoir is actually going to be towards the back, where stock is out sideways, and it's hard for you to get up to the reservoir on the stock shocks. This is behind, so your plastic comes up like this. You can just reach right up and just click, super easy. So that way you can just get it all set up. And, you know, this is on the higher stages and stuff. If you really love performance, go with the higher stages. You know, stage 4s are awesome because you got the rebound. The faster you go, the faster these need to rebound. You need to change your rebound. So 2s, 4s, and 5s have the rebound. So play with that. So I just wanted to give a quick look at, this is the new Gen 2 Trail Hester Edition Elka shocks. And we are working on them. It takes a long time to work out all the geometry and build and everything like that. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So I will have some videos showing these on the vehicle, and once I get it all set out, we'll have it all set up and I'll show it. Of course, it's not going to have the front sway bar, and it will have the rear sway bar, but I might disconnect the rear sway bar just to show the flex articulation capabilities, because I mean, we got a lot more stroke. I mean, you've never seen a shock this big on a 50-inch. I mean, look at that. You've never seen a 50-inch trail side by side with a shock that big. I mean, pure freaking God mode right here. It is exclusive from Hester's Motorsports in Raton, New Mexico. So once we get these out, please keep an eye on our Facebook page. We do have a Facebook page. It's Hester Edition Elka Suspension Owners. I will have a link to that. That is the owners page. So you can go on there and you could talk to the actual owners that have bought our suspension, and you could talk to them and they show their rides and all that stuff. So it's really awesome, you know, having a good community like that, a good page where you can go to and get information, not just what, you know, of course somebody's gonna say, well, you're selling them, so of course you're gonna tell them how good they are. No, go talk to the owners. And I even have customers on there that even have posted and said, I challenge you, look anywhere, search the entire web, find anything of one complaint about our Hester Edition Elkas. And if it's a complaint, it's very, very minor. And like, oh, I had to trim my upper rear shock mount on my T-Rex in order to fit the shocks, and I didn't want to do, I mean, that's not the shock. That's what you got to do to fit aftermarket shocks. But it's usually, you know, something like that. Or I saw one guy that, you know, that commented that, oh, I didn't get a 4-inch lift on my zforce when I put the shocks on. Of course not. It's a sport machine, not a monster truck. You can adjust this down. You can get a big old lift, but it's not going to ride that good. So you need to find that. So check it out. Check out the page. Give us a like here on at Hester's Motorsports Facebook page, the owner's page, all that stuff. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and we'll see you when you're ready to ride God mode style. Thank you for watching.